What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be doing a small NASCAR silly season update. I'm going to recap everything that has happened in the last couple weeks and talk about things that have not been officially announced or drivers that could be on the move to other teams in 2026. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's begin by talking about things that have been announced in the last couple weeks. First, about a week or so ago, NASCAR Motorsports confirmed they will not be joining Dodge and going to Ram in 2026. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation that NASCAR Motorsports could have potentially been one of the teams that have been going to the Ram Truck Series program in 2026, but they have a long-term commitment with Chevy they've had since around 2016 to 2017. Nothing's going to be changing on that front. They're going to be staying with the Chevy brand in 2026 and beyond. The only other thing that's been confirmed in the last couple weeks is that Rickware Racing has officially sold to TJ Pusher. TJ Pusher has bought the organization for over $100 million. We don't know the exact numbers officially, but TJ Pusher also wants to make this team a three-car organization, and this could have an effect also on the Legacy Motor Club and Rickware Racing lawsuit. That going on currently at the moment, but TJ Pusher has officially purchased Rickware Racing, and they look to become a three-car team into the not-so-distant future. So those are the things that have been officially confirmed. Let's talk about things that might happen for 2026. Let's begin by talking about Daniel Suarez. It was officially announced and confirmed earlier this week that Daniel Suarez will not be returning to Trackhouse Racing in the 2026 season. It has been a struggle for Daniel Suarez so far this year, only one top 5 and 3 top 10s, albeit that was a second place finish at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But there was a lot of talk that he was going to leave the team. Pitbull left before the Daytona 500, and a lot of people thought at the time, including myself, that it was very unlikely that Suarez was going to be back with the program for 2026. So where is Daniel Suarez likely going to go next year? There is a lot of talk that he could maybe stay in Cup next year. There's talk of maybe Legacy. There's outside chatter maybe Spire. But I'm leaning toward him likely going back down to the Xfinity Series next year and going to Junior Motorsports. With Connor Zilo, we'll talk about in just a second, moving up to the Cup Series next year. I do think that this number 88 car would be the best option for Suarez right now. I think the 88 would be the likely option and the likely play for next year. I think that'd be a really, really good ride for Suarez going into next season. I think this is where he likely ends up next year. I think this would be a really, really good opportunity. He would absolutely contend for a championship considering he drove for them and won at Mexico. I think this is the most likely landing spot for Suarez. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. His likely replacement in the NASCAR Cup Series next year is going to be Connor Zilo. It has not been announced and confirmed at this time, but it's expected that Connor Zilo is going to be the replacement for Daniel Suarez going into next season. Connor Zilo has shown a lot of improvement in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. In the last 5 races, he has finished no worse than 5th. And his consistency has been incredible. He has jumped from 12th in the regular season standings after missing Texas to jumping up to 5th in the regular season standings, and I think he's got a really good chance by the end of this week at Chicago or the coming weeks. He might be able to move higher than that in the standings. He's been really, really good, and I think he is ready to make that jump up the Cup. I think that he will struggle a little bit in the Cup Series. I don't think there's any denying that at this point, but I do think that Zilo will do a really good job with Trackhouse Racing next year. I think he's got a better chance of winning road courses than Daniel Suarez right now. I think that he'll do a very good job. This is expected to happen going into next year. We will likely see Connor Zilo take over the number 99, or maybe they switch to number 87 perhaps, but I think that this is what is going to happen for next year. One driver that we do not expect to move on from Trackhouse Racing at the moment is Shaman Gizburgen. Shaman Gizburgen picked up his first Cup Series win in 2025 at Mexico City earlier in the year, and there's a likely chance he's going to win more races before the end of the year. Maybe at Chicago this weekend, maybe he picks up the win at Sonoma next week, and could be factored to win at Watkins Glen as well. Shane is really good at road courses, and he's starting to figure it out on ovals as well. He's probably going to have a multi-year extension coming down the road with this organization. Plus, he's got the sponsorship coming into play for him. We don't expect any changes for Shaman Gizburgen currently at the moment. He will stay in the Cup Series next year with Trackhouse Racing. Moving over to the Toyota camp, there is a lot of chatter that Jesse Love could be a potential candidate for Legacy Motor Club in 2026 should Legacy Motor Club expand to a 3-car operation next year. But that all depends on what happens with the Rickware Racing lawsuit. Jesse Love's been linked to that team twice now. In an article that Bob Pockrass released, he mentioned Jesse Love because of the connections with Toyota. He is not linked to he's not fully in scale with Chevrolet. He can go to any manufacturer he wants to. And Jimmy Johnson name dropped him in a recent podcast that he does with Marty Smith every single week. I think Zilo would be a really good option for legacy, but I also think there might be some struggles. And unlike Connor Zilisch, I think Love would struggle a little more than Connor would. But I think Love is a talented driver. I think another year in Xfinity would be a great option for him, but I think there's a chance he could end up at the team next year. One driver that we likely will see back at Kaulig Racing in the Cup Series next year is Ty Dillon. While nothing's been officially announced and confirmed, we do think he's going to be in Cup again next year of Kaulig. He's actually been having a decent year so far, and I think that Ty Dillon is not an awful race car driver. He's done better than I thought he was going to do this season. He has shown some decent speed with the Kaulig Racing team. He just picked up his first top 10 of the year. I think Ty has earned the right for another year with the team. Now, if he struggles next year, he could lose a seat or maybe get demoted to Xfinity, but I think there's really no one better than at the moment, maybe outside of Suarez, who can go here. But I think Ty Dillon isn't going anywhere, and he'll likely get an extension with this team. Now let's talk about Corey Heim. Corey Heim's 2026 plans are a little bit up in the air. There is talk they'll probably stay in the Truck Series next year, which frustrates me because Corey Heim is way too good to be in trucks. He's got like nearly 20 career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series victories and will reach that probably either by the end of next year or early this year or by the beginning of next season. Corey's been so good in truck competition. He should be moving up at least to Xfinity if Sam Hunt can get their stuff together. I'd love to see him get a chance and opportunity, but as of right now, there's a likely chance he'll stay in trucks, which is really frustrating. Another driver that could be a player is Eric Almirola. Jordan Bianchi mentioned Eric Almirola in a recent silly season article back in the middle of May going into June, and Eric Almirola's name got brought up as a possibility. I don't think it'd be for a Cup Series ride, but maybe like more Xfinity Series starts next year. Eric's been really, really good in Xfinity the last couple of years. He's picked up 4 victories in the last couple of years combined. I think Eric's been really good with JGR. It'd be cool for him to be a full-time driver. I think this could be someone to watch out for in the silly season market this year. Another driver could be a factor in silly season is Sam Mayer for 2026. Sam Mayer has been having a pretty good year with Haas Factory. He's been doing a lot better than Sheldon Creed has been doing this season, and Sam Mayer is a pretty talented guy. So I think Sam Mayer could be a factor for a team, let's say like the Rick Ware team in the future. They do have a second car. Maybe make some select Cup Series starts along with like Harrison Burton next year or someone else we don't know at this point. But Sam Mayer's name got brought up as a possibility in the silly season market. We'll keep an eye on Sam Mayer as time goes on. One driver to watch for to maybe make some Cup starts next year is Corey LaJoie. I think likely with Rick Ware Racing or the new team that TJ Pusher owns. TJ Pusher was with Spire for many years. Cory Joy for Spire for multiple seasons, and TJ was there. I think you'll see him make some Cup starts with Rick Ware next season, and maybe make some starts with Spire and trucks as well, but I think he'll be in Cup for quite a bit of time. He won't be a full-time guy next year. He's probably still going to have some pretty big commitments to Amazon going into next year, but Corey LaJoie could make some definite runs in the Cup Series in 2026. Another driver that got mentioned is Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith's 2026 plans are unknown at this point. There is a chance that Front Row, depending on what happens to the lawsuit, they could have a 4th part-time car. They were mentioned as a potential team that could have a 4th car in the near future. Chandler is someone, in my opinion, who's got potential to be a Cup Series star, and he's been really good in the Truck Series this year. He's already picked up 2 wins. One of the few guys who's been able to keep up with Corey Heim this year in the Craftsman Truck Series. I think making some starts in trucks would be a no-brainer, but also he might have an opportunity to move up to the NASCAR Cup Series in the not-so-distant future and could end up in a Front Row Motorsports car. One driver that's been mentioned multiple times over the last couple months has been Cleetus McFarland. There has been a lot of chatter that Cleetus McFarland could find a way to make some starts in NASCAR in the 2026 season. Whether that's a full-time opportunity or a part-time opportunity, that is to be determined. People keep mentioning it. Michael Waltrip brought it up as a potential possibility during one of the Fox races in Michigan. And Cleetus McFarland's name has been linked to the Dodge Ram program. Now, they have denied it multiple times. Cleetus denied it at the original announcement. Tim Kunickis said they've only speaking one time at this point, but I think Cleetus ending up in a truck, maybe like Rhett Jones Racing brings their truck program back, that could certainly be a possibility if they go to Dodge, or they could just go to Ford perhaps in the future. But Cleetus McFarland is a potential candidate who could have an opportunity to move up to NASCAR competition in 2026. Speaking of the Truck Series, there is a lot of chatter that GMS Racing could be returning to NASCAR Craftsman Truck Competition in 2026. There's an interesting tweet that came out a couple days ago from GMS Race Cars, if I'm not mistaken, where they're teasing a potential big announcement inside of a crate. That's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but GMS had a lot of success in NASCAR Trucks Competition many, many years ago. They left the Truck Series after 2023. They have had championships with Sheldon Creed. They won a championship with Johnny Sauter, and they won races with guys like Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson as well. I think GMS being in trucks and being part of Dodge, it would be very interesting. Speaking of Dodge, it has been confirmed that Dodge is eyeing a potential Cup Series operation in 2027. Tim Kunikis did confirm they're trying to basically stop, maybe move it to like 2028, but 2027 is very likely they're going to come in. This would open up the opportunity for some new charters to come into play, perhaps, and I think that you could see a team like Trackhouse Racing go over there, or even Legacy Motor Club, or the new Rick Ware team that might be coming in. That could certainly be a possibility next year. But there is a lot of talk that Dodge is coming to Cup, and I think there's a very good possibility they're going to see Dodge have some sort of Cup Series program by the 2026 or 27 season. Now let's talk about Junior Motorsports. There was talk early in the year that Junior Motorsports was eyeing a NASCAR Cup operation for next year. I don't know what the future Junior Motorsports in Cup is going to be outside of maybe a few starts. I don't think Junior Motorsports is going to have a full-time operation. Let's say Dillon Suarez does go to Junior Motorsports. I could absolutely see Dillon Suarez maybe getting a few Cup Series starts with Junior Motorsports, maybe running the Daytona 500 if he goes full-time. Justin Allgaier could be a potential candidate as well. There was talks of Ricardo maybe at one point, but that never really came to fruition. But there is talk that Junior Motorsports could have a Cup Series operation in the future, and maybe down the road we see him go full-time Cup racing. Junior might be interested in doing it again, maybe doing another Daytona 500. The sponsor wanted to do it. We'll see down the road if they maybe decide to do it. And finally, let's talk about Justin Haley. It is expected that Justin Haley is going to return to Spire Motorsports in 2026. Yes, it has not been a good year for Justin Haley over at Spire, but I think Justin Haley's been a better driver than people give him credit for. He shows a lot of really good speed at times, and, he lost his crew chief, he lost his car chief, and he lost his pit crew, the original team that he had. He's basically got a lot of the scraps at the team currently at the moment. Ryan Sparks is an all-right crew chief, but he's not a guy that's going to get the world on fire for you. So I think that Haley will return to the team and won't be leaving Spire Motorsports after this year. So that is going to be it for a really quick NASCAR silly season update. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on so if when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What changes do you think will happen during the remainder of the silly season? What crazy things you'll see for 2027? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're not getting more videos dropping today on the channel as it is the 4th of July. I want to wish you guys a happy 4th and hope you've had a really good day today. Tomorrow we are going to have reactions we're going to Xfinity competition. We're also going to have the starting lineup coming out Sunday for the Cup race at Chicago. We're also, of course, going to have reactions to Cup qualifying on Saturday, and we're also going to have the Cup review as well, depending on who wins the race. And then, of course, on Monday, we should have multiple NASCAR news video dropping, if a lot of news drops over the next couple of days. And then on Tuesday, we're probably going to do intros for the Sonoma race, but might have something special coming out. Might be doing my schedule predictions for 2026. Just have to kind of wait and see on that front, and a lot of great content you guys will be seeing in the coming days. We got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shaman Gizburgen, Carlos Kerbush, Cobblish, Bubba Walsh, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Junior Motorsports, Carson Quaffle, Cleetus McFarland, Dodge, Ram, Honda, perhaps, Justin Allgaier, Bubba Walsh, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Tony Breininger, all the good stuff. We'll be talking about the long lane race and Chandler Smith in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.